I'll be taking a spring break for a few weeks. In the meantime, we're repodcasting some past bike adventures. Hope you enjoy.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Pedal Shift Project. The Pedal Shift Project is a series of conversations, thoughts, and experiments around the bike touring lifestyle. From tips and tricks to ideas on how to ride your ride. Let's shrink the world by bike. Show notes and more are available at pedalshift.net/261, and you can email the show at pedalshift@pedalshift.net or text me at 202-930-1109 and check Pedal Shift out on all the socials as well. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Pedal Shift Project. My name's Tim Mooney. Thanks so much for joining here on the 261st edition of the show. It is the concluding part of the latest tour journal, A Game of Chance. And as I said last week, sometimes bad ideas go good. Good ideas go bad, and then there's the latest bonkers idea of a tour I had, a game of chance. If you don't understand this whole game of chance thing, go check out either last week or the week before where I talked a little bit more about it. In this, the final installment, we learn how preparation can sometimes be the key to a good tour, or it can mean you just carry a lot in your panniers, more for show.
From the end of the Western Maryland Rail Trail, well, it's not really the end, is it? This is the fork in the road. You could continue on the Western Maryland Rail Trail down a bit to another parking lot. Oh, so I guess no, this is a true fork in the road. This is an opportunity to either continue on the Western Maryland Rail Trail. Wait, mind blown here. We've got four possibilities here because we have a binary C&O or Western Maryland Rail Trail, and then we have a direction. All right, so here we go. I could continue on the Western Maryland Rail Trail. Well, let's do it this way. Let's do the binary since we're at an access point for the C&O. That's number one. Number two is the Western Maryland Rail Trail. Let's see here. And we're going to have to be on the non-random number generator or non-online one. Number two. So that means we continue on the Western Maryland Rail Trail. There will be another binary choice down in a little bit, if memory serves. So that means we'll be on the C&O at that point. So we're going to continue on the Western Maryland Rail Trail. And then I have to remember this. Yeah, that's right. I can continue all the way down to Bill's place, basically. So, okay, yes, we will continue down there, and then we're going to be getting onto the C&O. Why don't we, while we're sitting here taking a break, since I know at that point, well, no, I don't. I could be turning around, so that could be a three-way random number generator. Okay, all right. So we will be continuing after my quick lunch break and have another fork in the road. This is more complicated than I thought it was going to be, but here we are. All right, more to come down once we get to Bill's place. All right, we are only about, about 4 miles down the road here. The trail. Oh, I'm having bike touring brain already. So we are at the you can keep going on the Western Maryland Rail Trail, but it dead ends. So I'm going to count this where we are right now as the ending spot for the terminus, so that there's no other way to go westbound here on the trail. However, all right, we can access the C&O if we go down and around the corner here, which means that we've got let's do this as a three-way rather than a two binaries here. So we've got a 1, a 2, and a 3. Number one, turn around. Turn around and just go back the same way on the Western Maryland Rail Trail. I told you this could be giving us weird results. Number two, continuing westbound, continuing Cumberland bound on the C&O. Okay, so that's number two. Number three, going on the C&O but going back towards Hancock. So there are two options here that actually reverse me. I never considered this. So here we go. I do get a single here, by the way. It is number two. Okay. Number two, we are going to be continuing Cumberland bound on the C&O. We're a little over, we're in the 15-ish mile range right now. So what we're going to be doing once I get back on the C&O is I will be determining whether or not I'll be continuing or turning around in increments. So it's either going to be at mile increments or they're going to be at campsite increments. And that's going to be starting around the mile marker 20 or so. When I say mile marker 20, I'm saying, well, we'll figure this out. We're going to start getting into binaries about stopping. We'll be considering stopping at around the 40 mile marks. We're going to be doing constant go the same direction, turn around at major interphases starting after probably about mile marker 20 or my mile marker 20 or so. This will all make sense later. But we're continuing towards Cumberland. We're also going to start considering whether or not I'm going to be camping or stopping at around the 40 mile mark. I think I've already said this. Again, I have bike touring brain. Let's just keep going. We're going to go down on the C&O. We're going to keep going towards Cumberland. Off we go. All right, we are on the C&O, and we are going to continue for a little bit while. A couple of things of note. It's windy. That's fine. Also, the trail conditions are pretty good. Wet for sure. And also, some puddling. Not sure if you can hear that, but I would say better than I expected. So that's all good. The next fork in the road appears to be one of the campsites. So I think that we're getting to the point where we're coming up to the 20 mile point in my ride. So I think that I'm going to start doing some more back and forth since I'm on a more linear part of this at 10 mile marker increments. There are opportunities for me to flip the script and to not continue in the same direction. Now, I've been lucky, quote unquote, that we've been going in the same direction for a little while, but that's how this thing goes. Who knows what direction I'll end up be going in. But I think that there's a campsite coming up at about mile marker 144, which is about 20 miles into my trip. So that's when I will be making another roll of the dice here on the Game of Chance Tour. Devil's Alley Hiker Biker Campsite. Here, about 144. Hold on, let me check that out. I should know this because I have a thing. Mile marker 144.5. Hancock was about mile marker 124, give or take, back there. Even though I was on the Western Maryland Rail Trail, it's roughly 20-minute trail miles. So we are at a good point to, first of all, I forgot to celebrate the fact that the Green Goblin is now officially christened on two brand new trails, the Western Maryland Rail Trail and now the C&O, which is kind of exciting. Trail conditions are great. Actually, I'm going to call them somewhat great. Very quiet here on the trail. I did see some folks I forgot to mention back in Hancock. They were DC bound and they were, I think, at the C&O bike shop, staying there in the little, what would you call it? The bunkhouse or the bunk area. They clearly were waiting out the rain, and I think that was the right choice for them because it was pretty steady earlier today, and you could definitely see it here on the trail. But it's been relatively dry. I cooled down enough that I'm wearing my jacket again. I should probably mention that. But again, it's still humid enough. I got the pit zips open and whatnot. Okay, so here we have another more manufactured fork of the road. Whereas before it was all, hey, there's trails and whatever. I'm going to start doing some manufactured ones. And it is a binary. It is continue towards Cumberland or turn around. Continue towards Cumberland, number one. Number two, turn around and go back towards DC. So here we go. Okay. For the first time ever, I am not going to be continuing in the same direction. I am going to be turning around and going back on the C&O the way I just came. Okay, that's how this goes. So the rules now are going to be, I am going to continue until there's another natural fork of the road, or will I do this at every campsite? Maybe I'll do this, I don't know. Forks in the roads and campsites. Yes. Okay, so off we go, going back towards Washington, D.C. bound, back towards Hancock. Okay, on the C&O. Away we go. All right, we are back here on the C&O just before the turnoff to Bill's place, up in, I always forget the name of this town. Is this Little Orleans? Little Orleans, yes. So we're there. So we are at another natural fork in the road. So the opportunities here are either to continue on the C&O or get on the Western Maryland Rail Trail, or I guess turn around on the C&O. Wait a second. Okay, yeah. So there's number one, continue towards DC on the C&O, the direction I've been going. Number two, I got to get this right. Number two would be turn back around on the C&O. And number three would be to take the Western Maryland Rail Trail towards Hancock. So 2 out of the 3 options here have me going back towards Hancock. Oh, God. And one turns me back around to, for the third time today, do this same 4-mile section of the C&O. Okay, here we go. I'm staying on the C&O, and I'm going back towards Hancock. Okay, well, this is good in the sense that I have not done this section of the C&O yet. Okay, yes. So I'm retracing, just so you understand from the mapping perspective here, I'm retracing my route back towards Hancock. So I'll be going, I'm going to be retracing some of my route, but on a different trail. So I'm on the C&O, which, by the way, the bike is handling really nicely. These are slightly thinner tires than on my other touring bike, on the other Safari. And it's handling it quite well. So I'm very happy to report all of that. Okay, so we're about 20 miles into the trip. I think that we're going to do the next, because of all this turnaround, I'm reconsidering the turnaround at every single campsite. Sorry to change the rules here, because now that there's tons of campsites between here and Hancock, I could be going back and forth forever. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do this again in about, well, what would that be? About, because now we're about 30 miles in. Okay, yeah, so I guess in Hancock, we're around the 40-mile mark, give or take. Yes. So we're at the 40-mile mark there, essentially. Yes. Then what we will do then is we're going to start doing the do I stay or do I go kind of a thing. So starting at the 40-mile mark. So I will probably report to you in the next 10 miles or so. But if I'm back in Hancock, that's when I start making determinations about whether or not I'm going to camp or hotel. So I got camping options. I got hotel options. And shit, I got my car too. Okay. This is starting to get funny. Okay, I'm going to get going. And I'll report again on this trail because I'm going to be passing by maybe some signs because, oh, by the way, I've been passing all these signs and they've all been no's, so I have not interrupted the podcast for that. So we've got sign reading possibilities up ahead, binary choices, and we've also got 10 miles of cycling before I make some of these final decisions. Okay, this is a bananas tour. I hope you're following this because I'm really literally making this up as I go along. Okay, more to come. Wrapping up a quick break here at Capon Junction. I can speak. Bike touring brain. It's for real, yo. Just had a quick, bit of water and quick bathroom break. This is one of the campsites that has, I don't know how else to describe it, but the even old school porta potties. I don't know how to describe them. They're not the kind of typical kind of like green ones that are made of the same type of plastic. These look a little more permanent almost. They look like they're made of fiberglass. It's just interesting because I wonder how they differ. How do they service these differently perhaps? I have no idea, but I just noticed them when I noticed them. There are only a handful of them on the trail. but here it is, Kakapan Junction hiker-biker campsite. Okay, I am, as promised, I'm not going to do a turnaround thing here. Or we're going to continue until about 40 miles in, which is basically going to be in Hancock. Actually, you know where I'm going to do it? I think I'm going to do it. There is another hiker-biker. So I'm going to reverse my reversal. There's the last hiker-biker before you hit Hancock. That seems to be a good place to make the call, because there's going to be a call about camping. There's going to be a call about continuing. There's going to be all sorts of things. It's a nexus point if you're an MCU fan, a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan. No? Nobody? Okay, never mind. Off we go. Quick break at Leopard's Mill hiker-biker campsite. The trail is definitely degrading a little bit. It's very wet. I just went through a puddle and my feet are soaked. So there's that to deal with. But, that's the CNO in the fall. Very bittersweet moment here. This is a campsite that I would take Belle to. She should have been here with me right now, unfortunately. So, just taking a quick moment. It's a beautiful view of the river here. And, she always loved the tent, and it's just too bad that she wasn't able to be here with me right now for this. So we are under 10 mile. Well, no, quite a bit less. There's White Rock hiker-biker campsite is in 3.4 miles, according to the sign. That is where I am going to do my next fork in the road. And this is going to be one of a few possibilities. We will talk about all of those possibilities when we get there, because we'll be past the 40-mile mark, which is when I will start considering ending the day possibly. So we will have more from White Rock in, well, for you, just a minute or a second or a whoosh. We're not at the campground yet, but we are by a sign. You remember how I mentioned earlier about the cement mill? Well, I probably didn't say it was a cement mill, but it's a cement mill, and I know why. I'm before a sign, and guess what? It pinged that you are going to hear this one. Round Top Cement Mill. Across the canal bed are the remains of the once prosperous Round Top Cement Mill. The abundance of high calcium limestone drew cement manufacturers to this area in 1838. A useful material, limestone can be cut into building blocks or burned and ground for use in fertilizer or natural cement. The 8 kilns across from you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I see 9, but okay, 8, could produce 48 tons of burnt lime per day. The Round Top Cement Company provided cement for the construction of the Washington Monument, the U.S. Capitol building, and much of the masonry along the western end of the canal. The masonry on Georgetown, the canal, is just beautiful. It also forms some of the masonry for Canal Road, which is a major thoroughfare in and out of D.C. So that's kind of interesting. I did not know that it was made literally right before me here. The sign continues. The Round Top Cement Company struggled to stay profitable in spite of the ease of shipping and the high quality of its natural cement, or as my girlfriend would say, cement, I think, Oklahoma. Fires in 1848, 1897, and 1903 burned the mill to the ground. Even more devastating than fire was the introduction and manufacturing of Portland cement in the United States in the late 19th century. Portland cement. Interesting. Weakened by the competition, the Round Top Cement Company was forced to close its operation after the 1903 fire. Fascinating. I don't think I've ever read that fully through. But yeah, it is very cool to know that major things where I live were literally came from the ground right here. And were kind of cooked and everything here too. Really cool. All right. We are getting close to the 40-mile mark, and some of the determination of should I stay or should I go, and which directions. Lodging / camping / whatever options. We're gonna know a little bit more in a moment. All right, White Rock hiker-biker campsite. This is about mile marker 126.5 if memory serves. We are also getting late enough in the day that I think I'm going to have to close off some of the continue possibilities, just because if camping is what's happening, I gotta make sure I have light to camp. We are after 5 o'clock. I should check the time. Yeah, we're about 5:15 right now. So just in case the some of the options, the go further options pop up, which are plentiful, I do need to make sure that I am able to have campsite. So option number 1 in our random chance. And do I have a signal? I have a signal, it appears. Let me just confirm that. All right, so I have a signal, and I am going to use the random chance generator rather than the app for this one. So option number 1, White Rock Hiker Biker Campsite. I end my day right here around 40 miles in. Option number 2, stay at the C&O bike shop. I believe they are open until 6 o'clock. If memory serves, I can stay at the bunkhouse, which I've never done. That's option number 2. Option number 3, get in my car and go back to my cabin. I didn't think that was going to be an option today. I thought I would be like a lot further away than where I started. Random chance indeed. Option number 4, continue. I think I've got enough time in my day to continue to Little Pool, which is 6 miles away. That'd get me there. Yeah, I would have enough time. I think beyond that, I think that I would have issues. So 1, White Rock, 2, C&O bikes, 3, car and drive home. Okay. And number 4, Little Pool. I suppose I could put in 5, turn around and go back to Leopard's Mill, but I think 4 options is plenty. So, okay, random number generator. Here we go. I'm going to the cabin tonight. A true round trip. I am going to go back to my car and drive back to the cabin. I believe I've got beer, so that's good because I forgot to get beer for this trip. So, all right. What a weird day 1. Day 2 starts back at the cabin, but I guess I'll talk to you. I don't know, from somewhere. All right, off we go. All right, from the La Crosse, it is the end of day 1. Not what I was expecting, I'll be honest. I'm tired, though, I have to say. I'm not fully unhappy, even though I was all ready to go full-on camping tonight. I have to be honest, there is a piece of me that is not unhappy about having a nice bed to sleep in, which is not too terrible, not too shabby. And I got some beer at home, and I can eat my Subway that I was gonna have for dinner tonight. I can eat that at home. So, I mean, it all kind of worked out, It's just a little weird to have a tour sort of have a loop as a part of day 1, but hey, that was what Game of Chance, Tour Day Chance, was all about. So join us tomorrow, next week, I should say. Join us next week for the thrilling continuation of a Game of Chance Day 2. Where will I go? I have a funny feeling I have to kind of do the Game of Chance all over again. I could end up I could end up in the Gap. I could end up, who knows? Tune in next week for more of this wackadoodle idea of a tour of mine.
So, I still have to laugh on how this thing went. I was all set to get up the next morning and do another leg of this whole Game of Chance tour, including, eliminating the C&O as an option and all of that. But I ended up having that nagging injury return that scuttled it the prior week before. So I ended up postponing the rest of the Game of Chance tour for later next month, just to make sure that everything is all good. And of course, you're invited. We're dropping the chance part on this one because that made my head explode for what was essentially just an out and back on the C&O and the Western Maryland Rail Trail. So join me in a few weeks and we'll clean this all up. But first, we've got some fun shows, including a best of next week, and then some fun shows in between, leading all the way up to Thanksgiving. And we've got some fun surprises coming down the pike for that, too.
Thank you for joining. You can find Pedal Shift at pedalshift.net for more great bicycle touring content. You can hear the Pedal Shift project through Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app. Opening music courtesy of Jason Kent off his self-titled album. The track is called America. Check out his band Sunfield's latest release, Mono Mono, wherever cool music is available.